Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. So great to see you guys here. Let us know in the chat where you are coming in from. Love to see that we have people from all over here. It's amazing. And being able to share where you're from. Let me know what you're sipping on. I've got my tea here to keep me warm. I got my neighbor here, Jason. He's in our neighborhood. Welcome. I see we got Mo from Toronto, Tony from Dallas. We've got Laura from New Jersey. Great to see everyone here. Let us know. I want this to be interactive. So, I'm going to ask you questions throughout this. Please feel free to type it in the chat. Let us know where you are from. We have a lot to cover today, and we're talking about rewiring your thinking for breakthroughs. And I am fighting a little bit of a cold. And so I probably go off video for a little bit because I don't want to be a distraction as I've got multiple cameras going here, or multiple screens. I'm also got my tea to keep my voice warm and my Kleenexes in case I need them. So I'm going to be sharing a lot of information with you guys today and thinking about how we can really rewire our thinking, because how we react to things, how we show up makes such a difference. And when we can change something in a second, that has a huge impact on the rest of our day, the rest of our week, the rest of our month, and how we show up for the rest of the year. So I'm thrilled you're here today. I am going to silence my phone right now. I want you guys to do the same. Make sure you are paying attention. You may want to grab pen and paper to take some notes as you go through this, as there's going to be some nuggets you want to take away. So like I said, I want you showing up, being here, being with me in the chat as we get going. It's great to have everyone here, and we're going to dive right in. So I asked, where are you guys tuning in from? So we can get to know you better. Just knowing where someone is sitting at this moment gives us another connection to them and who they are. So, like I mentioned, I'm going to ask a lot of questions throughout this. Sometimes I'll tell you to put the answers in the chat. And also, I would love to hear and see some of those ahas that you really like, or those big takeaways. So go ahead and put those in the chat as well. So if you haven't already, let us know where you're coming in from. What's your favorite beverage you're enjoying right now throughout this cold day? I know it's pretty cold everywhere. Like, we are definitely in a cold state right now, more cold than we're used to. So let me ask you another, or maybe a more revealing question. If self-doubt holds you back in your business or in your life in any way, just put me in the chat. And I think, self-doubt is something that everyone struggles with. Everyone goes through moments where they doubt what they're doing, they doubt what someone else is doing, they are doubting the steps that they're taking. And it's okay. You're in the right place. We're going to talk about how you can overcome that self-doubt and be able to rewire your thinking throughout this. So as we go through this, I just want to make sure you're in the right place. This is for you if you find yourself second guessing all your decisions or get triggered easily by what other people do or say. That's an A. If you've ever found yourself second guessing your decisions or getting triggered easily by what people say, let me know. You are a B if you have great ideas, but the fear keeps you from acting on them and you don't get the results that you want when you do act. I see daily in the chat of some of you, yes. And so B, if you are C, you are doing okay, but you want to cultivate a more resilient mindset so that you can handle all of those ups and downs of entrepreneurship in life, so that you can keep growing, so you can have more breakthroughs, so that you can see bigger results. So give us an A, B, or a C. Which one do you resonate with? And we resonate all three. Just put all three in the chat. A, you find yourself second guessing all your decisions and you get triggered easily by what other people say. B, you have great ideas, but the fear of failure keeps you from acting on them, or so you don't get those results that you really want when you do act. And C, you are doing okay, but you want to cultivate a more resilient mindset to help you handle those ups and downs of entrepreneurship and life. So I see we got A and B, C, B and C, lots of them coming in. Yes, and we're all in different places. A and B, daily basis, right? B, so okay, wherever you're at, you're in the right place because all of us can learn how to be more resilient, how to rewire our thinking, and how to show up better. So during this masterclass, you're going to discover how to identify and break free from your saboteurs. You're going to learn the proven techniques to master resilience and confidence. And you're going to learn the strategies to rewire your thinking and optimize your mindset. And also, you're going to learn the practical tips to align your mindset and your goals to get to new levels. So listen, it's not your fault that no one ever showed you how to rewire your thinking, or you've tried some different things and they just didn't work out. Because there are all these different programs out there that teach you things like 7 habits of highly effective people, or the high five habits, or 18 ways to overcome self-doubt. And there are so many frameworks and ideas out there, but none of them have gone to the core until now. And we're going to get into the core of this. So it's not your fault if you were missing the right pieces. You didn't even know what those pieces are that you should be looking for. But that all gets to end today because today you're going to discover how to rewire your thinking for breakthroughs so that you can live in your full potential. So let's play for a second and just imagine you can wave a magic wand and your business is thriving and you are working with clients you love and you feel like you are living at your full potential and you are surrounded by people you love and you feel supported and nothing is holding you back. And you are excited every day to get up and do what you love. And those doubts and those fears that come up are no longer holding you back. And you are taking actions every day that make a difference without hesitation or avoiding those things that you know you need to be doing because now you are in control. Who here wants that? Just put yes in the chat if you want to rewire your thinking and be able to crush those saboteurs like the avoider in you that keeps putting things off, or the judge that constantly tells you that you are not good enough and you don't have enough experience, or the thousands of other negative things that you say to yourself every day, and get a thriving business in life where you are happy and fulfilled. I see yes, yes, Davey and Robinson. Awesome. You guys are in the right place. You see, I get it. I have had all those doubts and feelings like an imposter at times and wondering if I was good enough, or beating myself up when things didn't go the way I wanted them to, or I didn't get the results that I wanted. And I knew that something had to change. I finally realized that so much of what I was learning just wasn't making a big enough change in my mindset. I had to find a better way to overcome those doubts and figure out why I kept sabotaging my results. So thankfully, there's a happy ending to the story because I said, I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to figure this out. And that's when I learned how to rewire my thinking in a second. And I learned how to identify and silence those internal voices that kept holding me back, which is what I'm going to be covering with you today. So you are probably thinking, sure, that all sounds good, but why are you teaching this, Tami? And I'll tell you why I'm teaching this. I decided that if I ever figured out what really worked, that I had to share it with others to help more people. And last year I did some amazing deep dives into what I'm going to be sharing with you. And after seeing the impact and the results that it had in me and my mastermind partners had, I wanted to share this with you too, because if my struggle can save you from struggling as much, it is worth it. Before we move on, let's address the elephant in the room. Many of you are probably thinking, I've tried similar mindset shifts and they haven't worked. And that's because so many of the tactics out there are just tactics that only have a temporary impact, or they're only teaching you about one part of the equation. And what we're going to be talking about is a complete shift in your operating system. It gets to the core of overcoming these thoughts and beliefs. So do you want to crush your saboteurs and unleash your full potential? If you want this, just put I'm in the chat right now. Just type in I'm in the chat. And I'm asking you to put I'm in the chat right now, not for my benefit, but for yours. Because there's a study at the Harvard Business Review did that showed that we are 5 times more likely to achieve our goals when we write them down. Now, is your moment that you get to 5 times your results just by typing I'm in the chat. I see them rolling in. We've got Jason's all in and Tammy's in, Robinson is in and Tony's in. And I hope that you're here, you're in, right? You're here, you're listening. You're like, yes, let's do this. So today during this masterclass, you're going to discover how you can silence the inner critic, how you can transform self-doubt into a success driving force, how you can optimize your mental fitness, and how you can propel your business and your life to new heights with newfound confidence. So you're like asking me, how, Tami, can I do this? You're going to do this with what I call the stop self-doubt formula so that you can unleash your full potential. First, we have to silence the inner critic that says you can't. Second, we've got to transform self-doubt into a success driving force. Third, we've got to optimize your mental fitness. Just like physical fitness, mental fitness is something we all have to work on as well. And fourth, we get to propel your business and life to new heights with newfound confidence. So first one we talked about is the silencing the inner critic. You know, your mind is your best friend, but it can also be your worst enemy. And how many of you have ever felt that, right? You know, there are times when you're driven and you want to do things and you go after it and your mind is there like your best friend cheering you on. You're like, yes, 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 I can do it. And then there are other times when you feel like your mind is your worst enemy, saying mean and hurtful things to you, things that we might not even say out loud or would never even say to our own kids because it would hurt too much. Yet we say things to ourselves. So we've got to silence that. But to do that, we've got to get to the core. Yeah, I see Jason was saying so much analysis, then I figure it won't work anyways. So the analysis paralysis, diving into those things and wanting to make it right, and then realizing it's not going to work, those setbacks that come in. And so we've got to get to the root cause, because when we can discover the root cause, it results in radical simplification. And there are thousands of colors in the world, right? Yet the root of the thousands of colors comes down to 3 colors. We can combine red, yellow, and blue to make all of the other colors. These are the primary colors, and this is an example of radical simplification with the power of factor analysis. And this demonstrates the benefit of understanding what the root of something is, because I know I always need to come back to these 3 primary colors in order to make any other color. And the same is true when we are looking at our mental fitness and how we are showing up. We've got to get to the root. So factor analysis research has been done to figure out what is the root cause of how we respond to the way that our mental muscles work. It's important to understand that we have these voices that come up and why we feel we are sabotaging our results in so many ways. And what they have discovered is that there are only 3 core muscles that are the root of mental fitness. The first one is our saboteur interceptor. And these are the ways that our mind jumps in and interrupts us by saying, you can't do that, or that's not the right way, or I don't know if this will work, so I think I should just put it off. And we are going to dive into what these 10 saboteur interceptors are in just a minute, because we need to know to be able to intercept them and silence them. And the second core muscle at the root of the mental fitness is your sage. And your sage is the ability to get into a more positive state. And the third core muscle is, excuse me, is our self-command muscle. And your self-command muscle allows you to be able to change what it is you are thinking and telling yourself and be able to change perspective on something. So we're going to walk through what these 9 saboteurs are, and then the 10th one that you're going to hear about that we all share. And so the first one is the controller. And the controller runs on an anxiety-based need to take charge, to control situation and bend people's actions to their own wills. They experience high anxiety and impatience when they are not in control. They're assertive and they want independence. When the controller is in their sage, when they're in their sage power, they are confident, they're action oriented, they're decisive, they're willful, and they're persistent. And then you have the hyperachiever. And the hyperachiever is dependent on constant performance and achievement and self-respect and validation. And they tend to become workaholics because they are focused on the external success rather than the internal criteria for happiness. And their style is also to assert themselves, but their motivation is for acceptance. When the hyperachiever is in their sage, they are driven, pragmatic, goal-oriented, and self-directed. And then we have the restless. And the restless is constantly in search of greater excitement in the next activity. They don't feel much peace or contentment when they have a never-ending stream of distractions that make them lose focus on things that truly matter. And their style is also to assert themselves, but their motivation is for security. And when the restless is in their sage, they are high energy and full of vitality, and they are open and curious and spontaneous. And then we have the stickler. And the stickler is the need for perfection, order, organization, sometimes taken too far. And they tend to be perfectionists. And they can be anxious and uptight at times. And their style is driven by the earning, and their motivation is for independence. And when the stickler is in their sage, they have a high standard of detail oriented, and they're able to bring organization and order into ambiguity and chaos. And then we have the pleaser. And the compleaser compels you to try to gain acceptance and affection by helping, pleasing, rescuing, or flattering others constantly. And they lose sight of their own needs and become resentful of others. Their style is also to earn, but their motivation is for acceptance. And when the pleaser is in their sage, they are empathetic, loving, and giving. And then we have the hypervigilant. And the hypervigilant feels intense and continuous anxiety about all the dangers surrounding them and what could go wrong. And they can never rest and have high stress that wears them and others down. And their style is also to earn, but their motivation is to find security. So when the hypervigilant is in their sage, they are sensitive and aware of true risks and dangers to themselves, others, and the institution. And then we have the avoider. The avoider focuses on the positive and pleasant and in extreme ways by avoiding difficult and unpleasant tasks or conflicts. Their style is to avoid, but their motivation is for independence. And when the avoider is in their sage, they are easygoing, even-keeled, flexible, and adaptable. And then we have the victim, and the victim wants you to feel emotions and temperamental as a way of gaining attention and affection. They have a martyr mentality and focus on painful feelings that may make them feel helpless. And their style is also to avoid, but their motivation is for acceptance. And when a victim is in their sage, they are sensitive. They feel their own emotions deeply and clearly, including difficult emotions. And they are also very introspective and capable of deep and courageous self-discovery. And then we have the hyper-rational, and they have an intense and exclusive focus on rational processing of everything, including relationships. And they can be seen as cold, distant, and arrogant. And their style is also to avoid, but their motivation is for security. And when the hyper rational is in their sage, they are capable of deep insights, understanding through objective analysis. Now, you may have spotted some of these that kind of hit home, or maybe you're thinking about someone else in your life and you're like, oh, yeah, I know that person falls into one of these. And these, we are all the saboteurs that show up. Then we also have the judge. And the judge is the master saboteur that everyone suffers from. It compels you to constantly find fault with yourself, others, and your conditions or circumstances. Can anyone relate to these? We all have different ones that are more dominant. And if you identify yourself in one or more of these, you can let us know in the chat. There's no judgment here. We all have some of these. I will tell you some of my top ones when I did my assessment were hyper, achiever, and avoider. And you think those kind of are opposites, right? But they play against each other in my life and my business at times when I can't recognize what's happening. And as I was telling my daughter about these the other day, she knew right away that she was a stickler and an avoider. She was like, she wants things in order and nobody touches her stuff and they need to be a specific way. But then she will avoid any task that she doesn't want to do for as long as she can. So we all have these in our lives, and they can show up in different ways. So you can see how these can also kind of play off of each other at times too. When I get into when that hyperachiever takes over for me, I'm driven for the results and I keep reaching for success. But then if something doesn't go right and didn't feel like I got the results I wanted, my avoider would kick in and be like, I don't feel like doing that right now, or maybe I should just deal with that later, do something else. Can you guys relate to any of these? I feel like we're describing so many things that we see in every day in our lives. But you can have more OMG moments. I call them OMG moments. These are the moments that excite you and scare you at the same time. Those moments when you do something big and bold. And I remember the first time someone reached out to me and asked to pay me to speak. I had just gotten back from a cruise where I had intentionally disconnected from social media while I was with my family. And I was on the plane on the way home and I opened up LinkedIn and started going through my messages. And I stopped at one and thought, is this real? And the message was from an organization that was hosting a women's leadership event in my area in that week. And they were asking me to come speak at it. And they even included what they were willing to pay me to lead one of the workshops. And all of these thoughts started running through my mind. I thought, why are they reaching out to me? I mean, I'm trying to become a speaker, but I've never actually been paid to speak before. And I don't know if I can be ready in just a couple days. I mean, I'm on a plane on my way home after being gone for a week. I don't even think I can pull this off. And I don't know if I'm good enough to stand in front of all of these executives and get paid to do it. And yep, the self-doubt was kicking in. And there was a part of me that was excited about the opportunity, and had part of me was saying, you can't do this. You're not good enough. And luckily, I decided that my self-command muscle figured out how to use that to stop the saboteurs and didn't listen to the self-doubt for long. And I responded back and told them that I would do it. And now every time this organization comes to Charlotte, they reach out to me and ask me to come speak at their events. And if I had gave in and listened to the self-doubt, I would have missed out on this OMG moment to meet some of the top executives in our area. And the clients and collaborations that have stemmed from this one event, it's created even more OMG moments for me and more paid speaking engagements. And I had to say, I do deserve this. I am good enough. I can do this, and put the judge and the avoider to the side. And I know that you have created some OMG moments in your life. and you deserve even more of those moments. So let's keep diving into how to do this and create more moments for you. So the second step is to transform that self-doubt into your success driving force. And we talked about the 10 saboteurs that showed up, but the good news is that there are 5 sage powers that can overpower these. And your saboteurs motivate you through negative emotions like fear, stress, anger, guilt, shame, insecurity, and so many other emotions. Where your sage motivates you is through positive emotions of empathy, curiosity, creativity, passion, and purpose. And your saboteurs might generate some success, but not happiness. Your sage generates your highest success and sustained happiness. And the more times you are in your sage, the happier and more fulfilled you will be. And I know some of you are thinking, aren't negative emotions good for me? Put yes or no in the chat if you think negative emotions are good for you. There is no wrong answer, but it is yes if you think they are good for you, and no if you think they are not good for you. I see no, mostly no. Awesome. Well, let me ask another question. Is pain good for you? Yes or no? Is pain good for you? When you touch a hot stove, is that feeling of pain good for you? No, it does not feel good, right? Jason's like, only if you learn from it. Absolutely. So the initial sense of pain is an indicator that you need to move your hand. So it's helpful as an alert. The initial sense of it is good for you. And the same is true with your negative emotions. The initial sense is good for you as an indicator that you need to change your mindset and that something is happening. It's only helpful for that 1 second alert as a signal. So staying in negative emotions hurts your ability to see clearly and respond with empathy, curiosity, creativity, and that laser focused action. Negative emotions are your saboteurs. When you can transform those saboteurs into your sage emotion, you will find that success driving force to get the answers and take the direction you need without the negative emotions holding you back. And recognizing that negative emotions and turning it into a sage perspective is how you transform your self-doubt into that success driving force. And then the third step we talked about is to optimize your mental fitness. That's the O in the self-doubt formula. The definition of mental fitness is your capacity to respond to life's challenges with a positive rather than a negative mindset. When you respond with a positive mindset, the impact it has is putting you in a state of peak performance. It gives you peace of mind and improves your overall wellness, and it helps you create healthy relationships. So let me ask, which perspective is true? This is bad or this is a gift? So when something happens to you and you're looking at it, which perspective is true? This is bad or this is a gift? Just put in the chat, bad or gift. Okay, so which one you think is true? See, often both. Yep. Okay. Bad gift. All right. Yes. So the answer is whichever you believe becomes true. If you believe it is bad, then it becomes bad. And typically it will start to spiral into more bad things. If you believe it is a gift, then it becomes a gift. And this is something I had to learn. And one thing that I do is start asking more probing questions. For instance, when we had a bad launch one summer, I asked my team, how can this be a gift? What can we learn from it? What was something good that came out of it? And the truth was, I was really wanting to just spend more time with my girls over the summer and didn't want to be running a big program that was going to be taking a ton of my time. And we also realized that there were some things that we wanted to change in the way we did the program. And this gave us more time to work on these changes without feeling like it was urgent. And when we launched it again, we had an even better results than we expected. And when we start asking more empowering questions, we can actually start to see it as a gift. And most people make, big transitions in life for better when something bad happens. We hear from people all the time, they've hit rock bottom and then things started to transform. And I wouldn't be here with you today on this webinar if I hadn't gone through a situation when I was in corporate that I felt like the rug had been pulled out from under me and I had hit this glass ceiling. And at the time, it was hard to see the gift. But now looking back, I'm grateful that it was a driving force to start my own business. And how can you use your negative experiences to become a driving force that propel you into something better? How can you start to see the gift in more circumstances? And the P in the stop self-doubt formula is to propel your business and life to forward with newfound confidence. And it's excuse me, it's time to propel your business and life to those new heights with this newfound confidence you will have when you have been able to stop the self-doubt in its tracks, when you've been able to rewire your thinking and transform it into a success driving force in your new and improved mental fitness. Studies have shown that when we can identify your saboteurs, put a stop to them, and learn how to be more in your sage, it has improved teams' performance by more than 31%. Salespeople sell 30% more. People live 10% longer lives. Who here doesn't want to live longer? And they are 3 times more creative. Who here would be like to be more creative, live longer, and even sell more? Just put a 1 in the chat if you'd like to see improvements in your mental fitness and get improvements in the way you show up in your life. So I see the ones rolling in. Yeah, so when you think of this as a system, your brain is the hardware. Your operating system is the sage perspective. And building your mental fitness when your saboteurs show up is what we call our PQ reps. The application crosses all areas of your life. You can use this to help with stress, wellness, diet, parenting, relationships, career planning. You can use it in your professional life for conflict management, creativity, productivity, leadership, time management, coaching, different functions that can be used. We talked about sales and improving sales, closing those sales and prospecting, client presentations and resilience and how you show up. There are so many applications for using this. So let me ask a question. Is it really possible to shift from saboteur to sage response, even in tough challenges? And the answer is yes, but the speed and depth of the shift depends on your mental muscle. How quickly you can move from one to the other depends on how you have building up your mental fitness. Lasting positive change requires 80% mental muscle and 20% insight. So first you have to have that insight to really understand and see what is happening. And then it takes 80% of your mental muscle to change your perspective and stop those saboteurs in their tracks. And I hope you get this one thing. It doesn't have to be hard or take even years to become and overcome your self-doubt and propel your business and life forward and to rewire your thinking. You have the slow way through trying to figure out the one thing for each area of your life, but the application of them doesn't apply to all areas, and you're left wondering which way to go now. That can take you a lot of trial and error and investment in a lot of different programs. and therapies, and not to mention all the time you spend trying to figure it out. Or you can take the easy straight and get straight to the root of it and learn how to turn it around for yourselves. And obviously, you are here and you want to know how to rewire your thinking and stop self doubt and all of the other saboteurs. So, with your permission, I'd love to show you how you can learn these techniques and start getting better results really, really quickly. Just let me know in the chat if you are ready to rewire your thinking and get those big breakthroughs. Just type yes, because I believe in permission based sharing. So, do I have your permission to share a way to get straight to the root of this and turn it around for yourself? Just type yes in the chat if you want to hear more about getting step-by-step guidance to help you overcome that self-doubt and those saboteurs and do this easier and faster. See, for sure, ready and willing, able. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. I want to introduce you to the Positive Intelligence Program. And this program gets to the core and helps you build your mental fitness like no other. But before I get all excited and tell you how you can get through, get the step-by-step process of overcoming self-doubt and unleashing your full potential, I've got to tell you who this isn't for. If you'd rather make excuses than make things happen, then this program isn't for you. Because this program was created for those that are ready to get results and are willing to do the work and follow a proven process that works. This mental fitness program is based on breakthrough original research by Shirzad Chamine, who is the author of the Positive Intelligence book and the synthesis of recent discoveries across neuroscience, positive psychology, cognitive behavior psychology, and performance science. So you may have heard of some of these, and you're probably done studies in one of these four areas. Well, Shirzad has shown that positive intelligence is the center of all of these. It is the core. And when we can get to the core, it is easier to understand and make changes. So research includes results from hundreds of CEOs and their executive teams, Stanford students, world-class athletes, over 500,000 participants from over 50 countries. And this program has been proven over and over again to outperform and get to the root faster than other programs out there just by teaching you one thing. And this can be applied in all areas of your life, not just your business. So let's talk about what's included in this program. You will take an assessment to find out what your primary saboteurs are. Knowing how these are impacting you and get a customized results will help you in overcoming these even faster. And this is an example of what the results look like. You'll be able to see which ones show up for you in your life the most. So we're going to measure it. We're going to see exactly where you are. You're going to know how you're showing up. And it will also give you more details on each one. So you can see here for the stickler, it's going into all of these details about what the stickler does, what their characteristics are. They're punctual, they're methodical, they're perfectionist, what their thoughts are. Right is right and wrong is wrong. I know the right way. It's going to show you how that shows up for you. And you're going to be really clear on which saboteurs are getting in the way after you complete the assessment. And you know what? Put SA in the chat if you'd like to know what your saboteurs are. If you want to know what your top ones are, just put SA in the chat if you'd like to find out what your saboteurs are. For being here live and staying with me to the end, I'm going to gift you our saboteur assessment, and I'll drop the link in the chat in a little bit so where you can go and get your assessment after the masterclass. And now if you do the program, I'm also going to be reviewing your assessment results so that you can get even more support throughout the program. Now, in order to improve your mental muscle, it is going to require an initial intense practice to create a new habit and learn the technique that you can do very quickly to overcome these saboteurs. So in this program, you will have daily exercises that you will do for a few minutes a day. And I have found that these to be a great way to take a break during the day as I'm always feeling more focused, as it brings me back to really understanding where I'm at and bring me back into that present moment. And just like we have to charge our phones, we have to charge our minds. And this is your way of plugging in and getting a new charge to get your mental muscle to a place that it can handle even the most difficult situations. You have to put in the reps. My niece is a nationally ranked weightlifter, and she didn't get to that point of being able to lift more weights than other women in the world overnight. It took the consistent practice and repetition to get there, of lifting the weights over and over again. And to get your mental muscle in shape, it also requires consistency and reps with the right kind of exercises. The PQ app guides you through this and makes it easier. All you have to do is open up the app and take 2 to 3 minutes at a time to put in some guided reps, and you will be getting your mental fitness charge. And there are also weekly trainings that we're going to be doing that will be released every Saturday in the app to help you develop your self-command muscle. You recognize what your saboteurs are and move into the sage more easily. You will learn how to apply it in different areas of your life so that you can stop the self-doubt and live in your potential. And these trainings are done by Shirzad, and they are so powerful and impactful. And they will teach you more about how to identify your saboteurs as he dives further into each of them, how you can move into your sage and use those 5 sage powers more effectively, and how to utilize your self-command muscle. And you'll also get the audio version of the Positive Intelligence Program. And this book dives deep into why only 20% of individuals achieve their true potential and how you can achieve yours. Plus, every week we will meet live, where we will facilitate a pod discussion to take the weekly trainings to another level. You get to share your feedback, your ahas, and your big breakthroughs. And sharing this with others and hearing how impacted they are, this impacted them, as well as it takes it even deeper and creates a connection that expands your growth. And you will not be going through this on your own, and we are there to support you. Plus, going through this with others always makes it easier to know that you're not the only one struggling with some of these things. Believe me, everyone fights with their saboteurs every day, probably even every minute. And these weekly calls have been so impactful. And our participants love the weekly pods discussions and never want to miss them because they get so much value out of them. So what's included in the Positive Intelligence Program? We're going to do your saboteur assessment along with me taking a personal look and reviewing it so that we can support you in the best way we can in the program. You have daily focus and PQ reps in the app. You have a weekly training in the app to learn even more about how these show up and how to use your mental muscle to overcome them. You have the Positive Intelligence audiobook in the app, and your pod discussions live every week for 7 weeks, as well as we have a kickoff call to go over everything and what to expect and how to set yourself up for success. And you may be wondering, will this work for me? And the answer is absolutely. This program was designed to meet you where you are and help you overcome your personal saboteurs so that you can live a more fulfilling life and unleash that true potential in your business and in your life and in all areas of your life. But don't just take my word for it. You can hear from some of our past attendees. This is Julie. She's went through the PQ Positive Intelligence Program. She said it has been so helpful in supporting me to create excellent new habits, overcome resistance and procrastination, and help me create results in areas of my life where I have felt stalled. I'm excited to finally move forward in the areas of my life where I felt stuck. Anyone here ever felt stuck? I mean, there's a time for all of us when we get to that point and you feel like something is holding you back or you're procrastinating about something. And Julia sharing how she was able to overcome that by using these tools. And this is Mia. She said, the Positive Intelligence Program is unlike any I have ever seen. I am a lifelong learner and have studied many frameworks in this program. However, the concentration on the PQ reps and noticing which saboteur was stopping the progress It has made such a huge impact and difference in how I show up now. And she has had incredible results since going through the program. And here are just some statistics of people that have gone through. Within 6 weeks of the practice, participants report greater well-being, 85% experienced increased happiness, 91% managed their stress better, 83% improved their self-confidence. Increased performance comes from this as well. 90% use mental, emotional energy more effectively. 92% are better at teamwork and collaboration. 76% improve their ability to develop others. 82% improvement in relationships. 97% improve empathy. And 84% are better at conflict management. These are better results than seen in any program. And this is why I wanted to bring this to you guys. If you want to join the Positive Intelligence Program, you can go to saveyourspothere.com, because if you're ready for big breakthroughs to gain momentum by unleashing that full potential, then this is your time. This is your opportunity to jump in and put aside the excuses and make it happen. But wait, there is more. I want to make sure you get the most out of this program and don't have anything holding you back. So I'm actually including a special bonus for you. Anything, because, although I know this program can make an impact in your life, but sometimes you feel like you need more than just the online guidance to help you get there. So I am going to be doing live coaching hours with you throughout the next couple months to make sure that you get your questions answered and you see even bigger results. You can learn so much, even just from the questions that other people are asking. The coaching sessions have been so valuable for our clients, and we've even had people show up thinking that they didn't have a question or know what to ask, and they left saying it was exactly what they needed, and hearing other people's questions helped them solve a problem for themselves. And you will have the ability to pre-submit questions. So if for some reason you can't make the live time, we will answer the questions if you've pre-submitted them. But showing up live is always the best way to experience these. And since we keep these groups to a relatively small group, everyone will have the opportunity to get coaching and get their questions answered. So you can do this the hard way or you can do this the easy way. It's time to stop self-doubt, rewire your thinking for your next big breakthrough now. The Positive Intelligence Program, we've got your saboteur assessments valued at $297, your daily focus guided exercise valued at $497, your weekly training at $1997, your Positive Intelligence book valued at $27, your live pod discussions valued at $1997, and your bonus coaching sessions valued at $1997. Your total value of all this is over almost $7,000. But the lifetime changes are truly priceless. But before I tell you about a special opportunity just for you here right now, I have a question for you. What would it be worth to you if you could finally overcome self-doubt, crush your saboteurs, unleash your full potential in your life and business? What would that be worth for you? If you came out of this knowing how to stop your saboteurs in their tracks forever, what would that be worth to you? If you stopped avoiding things and finally let go of the control that isn't serving you, or learned how to be more efficient because your stickler or hypervigilant weren't getting in the way anymore, what would that be worth to you? The tools that you will learn can take you and apply in each area of your life that you may be struggling with. I see priceless, everything. Yes, it can change your life and you get everything in here. This value of all of this is over $6,000, but we're going to do better than that. If you do this direct program directly through Positive Intelligence, it's $995. And that is the price you will see on their website and what it has been sold to thousands of participants for. And that doesn't include coaching hours or guided pod meetings with me. But after I went through this program, I decided I wanted to share this with more people. I wanted to give you an incredible opportunity to join for less than $10 a day. So you can get started for just $67 a week throughout the 8-week program. And for those who prefer to make a one-time investment, it's just $497. So go right now to the chat and let me get the link for you so you can put in the chat where you can get this. So you can go to save your spot now, or save your spot here, excuse me. And you can see what all is in the program and grab that URL so you can get signed up for less than $10 a day. We are kicking off the program next Thursday. So in less than a week, we are getting started. You will have everything you need to get started with this program. And I know that this is the time that all your saboteurs start showing up with all sorts of questions and telling you that maybe now isn't the right time, or your stickler is thinking, but I have more questions. Did she go over everything? What exactly am I going to do in the program? Or your avoider is like, I have too much on my plate right now. I don't think there is the right time, or maybe I could do it later. Or your judge is kicking in, and instead of focusing on what this could be doing for you, you are judging all the comments that are coming in, or judging the way that I talk, or judging something you heard, or judging yourself, and whether you can do this. So take a deep breath. You got this. And honestly, I wouldn't say this if I didn't believe it, but this is one program that can help you in so many areas of your life. So if you truly want to improve your life, feel more empowered with your actions, build a better relationships, and truly open up to the for levels that you haven't experienced before, this is the program for you. Just click on the link in here, go to saveyourspothere.com, and then click on the join now, and that will take you directly down to the place where you can decide whether you want to do the pay in full or the payment plan over 8 weeks. And let me get this link for you. I realized I just sent it to one person, not to all of you. So let me change that for you. Here is a link you can click on directly to sign up for that right now. We are kicking off next Thursday, and then we will be meeting weekly after that. And this is your chance to get to the core and come out of this program with the tools to stop holding yourself back and to finally live your true potential. So let me review again what you are getting. You are getting the saboteur assessment, the daily focus guided exercise, the weekly trainings. You will get the positive intelligence book. You get live podcast discussions where we're going to dive deeper into how it's impacting you and how you show up so that you can see quicker results and get better decisions and how you come out of this. Plus the live coaching sessions where you can come and ask me anything. And I know we have lots of entrepreneurs and things on here. So I have lots of people come and ask me just things about their business sometimes, or other things that they're wanting to get answers on. And this is Angeline. She said, I am a living testament to this program. It works. It's truly worth the internal personal investment, truly. And Angeline showed up on one of our calls recently and was sharing with people how she learned how she was so much harder on her family than she was on other people. Like people she didn't even know. She didn't even realize that she just was so much harder on her family and how she was showing up for them, and was able to shift some of her relationships because of what she learned in this. So I want you to imagine feeling like you are living at your full potential, not being held back by self-doubt or your judge, or constantly sabotaging yourself, and standing tall and confident with every decision that you make, hitting your goals and feeling great about it, and having relationships with those around you, feeling supported in a new way that is exactly what you've needed, and showing up in a new way in your sage power. And I want to share with you what Trinity said recently when she was sharing about the program.
This program has changed my view of 1 second of time. As Sherrod was saying, when you're going into that negative spiral, give it only a second and get back to your sage. And a second doesn't seem like a lot of time, but as I developed my brain muscle and I developed a way to utilize those tools, life. So I would, and that in itself is worth it because time is everything. And when we spend time positively, eventually those negative things, they never go away, but they don't sabotage you as they have throughout your life. So I would definitely encourage everyone who has the opportunity to get into this program to understand how it works and understand that it will change your life going forward forever. And that has been my experience.
Were you guys able to hear that okay? Had tried to have the volume up as much as I could. Yes. So Trinity has gone through the program as well and had a huge impact. And now we're looking for ways to bring this to some other people in her community as well. Because the impact, and I love the way she said it, the power of a second, how we show up in 1 second can make all the difference. And when you can shift that thinking in 1 second, think how much quicker you can move forward and do things. How much quicker you're able to get to the right answer, get out of those feelings that are holding you back and out of the avoider or not being as controlling as you need to be because your saboteurs are showing up in the wrong way. So if you haven't already, go to the URL. It is in the chat for you, or you can go to saveyourspothere.com. And we take MasterCard, Visa, American Express, however you want to pay for that. And you are going to show you how to overcome those saboteurs now. To get this on-air pricing, the on-air bonuses, open up a new browser and type in saveyourspothere.com and then copy that link in the chat. And somebody was asking, they sent me a message directly, when are we doing the next one? I actually do not have an answer for that. We are doing this one, and I'm not sure if we're going to be launching it again this year, but it probably will not be until the fall if we do. We have a great group of people already signed up to go through this, and we're excited to be offering this, but we have other programs that we do throughout the year as well. So I hear you. That might not be the best timing, but I can tell you, and Shirzad would tell you this too if he was here. Like when we think it's not the right timing, it's probably the exact right timing because what's showing up for you is that there's too much going on. I don't have the time to do things, and the focus isn't where we need it to be. This is literally a few minutes a day to help you shift where you're at and where you want to go. So if you feel like it's the good program for you, you may want to assess. And if anyone needs to have a conversation offline with me about it or has additional questions, you can type questions in the chat here. I'm happy to answer questions here for a few minutes. I do also, this is my business cell number, so you can don't call me right now because I'm here with you guys, but you can text me if you want to speak to me personally. This is my number. And if you want to have a conversation, if you have more questions that you just don't feel comfortable asking here as a group, you can text me your information, your name, and I'll get back to you after we are done here. I'll let you know some of the questions that we've had submitted earlier. So when does the program start? We have our kickoff call next Thursday, January 30th. Another question that we get commonly is how much time is required? So the commitment is daily. There's a few minutes that's required, just a few minutes a day. You're going to go into an app. It's going to guide you through what you need to do. It's very simple, but very powerful. Weekly, there is a 1 hour training that you do in your own time that gets released every Saturday. And you have until Monday when we meet for the pod to discuss that. And then we have a 1 hour pod meeting each week. We also have the bonus coaching hours. Those are an hour that will be happening a couple times over the next couple months. You are welcome. I see thank yous coming in. You're welcome. I hope you guys got a lot out of this. If you have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. But I want to ask, if you're on the fence and you're not sure, I'd love to know why, because I can only help you if I understand where you're coming from. So go ahead and finish the sentence in the chat right now. I am on the fence because, how would you finish that? I'm on the fence because what? Let me know if you're on the fence and why you're on the fence, so I can help address any specific questions. And like I said, you can text me at that number and I will get back to you today to answer any specific questions that may be about you. But I can tell you a lot of times other people have the same questions. So if you want to ask them in the chat, you're probably serving somebody else by doing that as well. Well, I want to thank you all for joining me and allowing me to share with you the system that has changed my life and so many people's lives. And I want this same exact thing for you so that you can create more and more OMG moments in your life. With the program, you will get access to the app and the daily guided focus and the trainings and the weekly pod discussions and the bonus coaching hours and everything that you need to support you in this. And all you need to do is be willing to make an investment in yourself. And my life isn't going to change if you sign up. I am not going to go out to dinner more often. I am not going to go on a vacation more often. The person whose life is going to change is yours when you take this action. And if you want to stop the self-doubt and unleash that full potential in your life and your business, then go to saveyourspothere.com and get started with us this week. Yep, I see a couple more questions coming in. So when is this over? The program ends on, I think May 17th is I'm sorry, March 17th is our last call. So we kick off next week. So it's a little more like 7.5 week total that we will be going through the program. And if you are still waiting until the last second to jump in, congratulations, you've made it. This is that moment to jump in right now. We're at the end. Go to saveyourspothere.com or click on the link in the chat and start working on your mental muscle to get you out of the negative emotions, get more into your sage, and transform your results. And I'm going to go off mic and off camera here and answer your questions in the chat and give you just a minute more to get your enrollment submitted so that you can get these bonuses. I want to thank you again for joining me and have a blessed day. I will be back in just a couple minutes to see if there's any more questions while you guys are filling out those forms. Just let me know. Now I see another question. Can I pay later? You can't do it right now. So Laura, depending on your timing, we are kicking off by next Thursday. So we would need that to come in before then. So excellent. Awesome. Well, you guys, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I'm so glad you joined us, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the program. I'm so excited for those of you who have joined us. Congratulations. It is going to be a transformational experience that you are going to really appreciate and enjoy as we get through this. Oh, well, and I hope you have a great recovery from your hip surgery, Laura. I know that is a lot to be going through. So I hope your recovery is going well for you. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining. I hope you have a blessed rest of your day. Like I said, you can text me at this number if you have questions, and or respond to one of our emails that we sent out at info@tamijaffe.com and let us know. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, and hopefully we have answered all your questions. And just If there's something else that comes up for you, feel free to reach out and let us know, right? All right. I hope you wish you all the best. We'll see you later.